What's going on, people? I'm yours truly, Kenjon Barner, and right now you plugged in with Jay, baby.
Yo, what's good? It's your homeboy T-Pain. Right now, at this very exact moment, you plugged in with Jay.
Plugged in with Jay right now. This is Jay O'Malley.
Turn up.
My boy Jay Perry.
You're listening to my boy, Jay the Plug.
My boy, Jay the Plug.
You're listening to my boy, Jay the Plug.
You're listening to my boy, Jay the Plug.
You're listening to my boy, Jay the Plug.
Jay the Plug.
You got many winners from anyone. You're listening to my boy, Jay the Plug.
Get plugged up, everybody.
What is happening, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to yet another episode of Plugged In with Jay. I, of course, am Jay, here with a very special guest, Mr. Kenjon Barner. How you doing, my man? Just get done training?
Just getting out the gym, man, getting it in, getting back to the grind.
Yeah, man, I love seeing it. I see some of those workouts that you do on IG, man. They look pretty intense.
I don't do nothing halfway, so if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it the right way and go all in on it.
That's what's up, man. Let's lead into that. So as you were growing up, was that how your mindset has always been ever since you were a kid?
Yeah, that's a credit to my father as well. Credit to my father, credit to my first real coach that I had in Charles Matthews. That's a mentality and a mindset that they instilled in me in a very young age. My dad's been a go-getter his entire life. Still to this day, I ain't seen my dad half do anything. So it's definitely been embedded in me from birth. And I've had a lot of coaches along the way help me establish this mentality and mindset.
Excellent, man. Yeah, we can definitely tell the way you play ball, man. So as you got older, you chose to go to Oregon to go play ball for college. You had a number of other spots offering you scholarships, things. So what made you decide on Oregon?
For me, it was the people. Growing up in Southern California, primarily in the Inland Empire, it's a lot of things you see. It's a lot of things you come across. I had a lot of friends that were into different things. And so it was an opportunity for me to really get away. And once I got out to Oregon and got to be outside of the football program, you expect them to roll out the red carpet for you, recruit you, tell you all the good, the sweet nothings, whispers in your ear, tell you all the good stuff. You expect that. But for me, it was getting out in that community, seeing how genuine people were, seeing how people genuinely cared about conversation. And for me, that was different, I've always had good people around me, but as far as an environment, the community, like I said, you see different things. You grow up in certain environments, you're exposed to certain things. So it was an opportunity to get away and grow up and not be too far away from my mama who doesn't fly. So that was part of the decision as well.
Okay. I feel her on that. Don't like to fly. Is she just not a fan of airplanes?
Listen, my mom not a fan of nothing. She not a fan of airplanes, boats, trains, nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Okay. All right.
Nothing at all.
So going to Oregon, playing with Mr. Chip Kelly. You played with him as an Oregon Duck as well as a Philadelphia Eagle, am I correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, tell me what it was like playing for Chip Kelly, man. I've heard he's pretty intense. He's
very intense. I put him and Bill Belichick in the same category. There's a standard of excellence. Absolutely. Those are two of the greatest minds that I've ever been around when it comes to football. But as far as their mentality and their approach to things, it's a one-way type thing. They know what they're doing. They believe in what they're doing. And there's a standard that they're going to hold everybody to. And if you don't meet that standard, you're not going to enjoy life too well being up under those guys. But for me, man, like I said, I've come from my dad being hard on me my entire life, making sure I was doing things the right way, different coaches. So that was nothing new to me. So I didn't have a problem, being up under Chip and the way he coached. I thrived up under him. He put me in the best positions as possible, and I was able to capitalize on the opportunities that he afforded me.
Yeah, absolutely. With Oregon, do you have any, and I always like to ask my guests this question. I know it's probably one of the harder questions to answer, but do you have any special memories or anything in college playing ball or just living life that whenever you're asked this question, if you're ever asked this question, that pop up to the front of your mind?
Man, I got a lot of memories, man. Some of my greatest memories had nothing to do with football, but had everything to do with the brothers and the family that I created while in college. My boy Tufus, Ali, Sham, Bishop, Trevor, Andrew, Marissa, Michael. The list goes on and on and on of people that I connected with, that families opened their doors to me as a complete stranger. It brought me in, took care of me, fed me, clothed me, really took care of me. So I got a million different memories. But as far as football, definitely some of my greatest memories. I think it was Stanford game 2011. We pulled that game out there, and then the celebration in the locker room after was like something I had never been a part of. The excitement, just the thrill, like the enthusiasm was just unmatched. I get chills thinking about it. Then I would go back to my redshirt freshman year when we beat Oregon State to go to the Rose Bowl. It was the first time going back in 95 years. You watch TV, you watch crowds rush the field, and I'd never been a part of that, so I didn't know what that was like. But to have that happen where you got fans rushing from the right, fans rushing from the left, front of you, behind you, everybody wanting to touch you, grab you, everybody celebrating that moment. That was one of the greatest moments, greatest memories that I have. I have personal things, but for me, it's my greatest memories are the group success.
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually just thought about this. You and Shady McCoy have a couple things in common. Y'all both played for Chip Kelly, and every team you're on just seems to get a ring.
I like, people say that I kind of have that reputation in the league. I'll take that. I like that.
Yeah, man, you're that rabbit's foot, man.
Yeah.
Is there a Super Bowl that you won that means more to you than the others? Like, I know a friend of yours, Tom Brady, just recently retired, maybe the one with New England. I don't know. I wanted to ask and see, is there one?
Each ring to me means something different, and they all hold a different value with me. Okay. I think obviously the one that I hold, I guess at that top spot, would be the Philadelphia ring. Just being with that organization as long as I was, going through everything I went through mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. The guys that I met in that locker room that really helped groom me, Darren Sproles, Brandon Graham, Deuce Staley, Phip, just a lot of guys that really poured into me that are a major part of me still having a career today. So I hold that ring in great regards. That ring means a lot to me. And that ring represents growth to me. That's where I matured. That's where a lot of the lessons that I learned, I still apply to my life till today. So that the growth that I experienced getting that ring, I appreciate that. The New England ring is special to me, just because that ring signifies to me the respect and the trust that people have in me. Bill, I was cut 3 times in that season. You know what I'm saying? Three times, 3 or 4 times. Bill made sure I got paid every single week. He showed me what a real man in this game. It's hard to come across good people in this game, men that genuinely care about you. So that ring means a lot to me, just because they didn't have to do that. They didn't. I'm not sure if everybody got a ring that was on that team that year, but the love and appreciation that they showed me for being who I was to them, I hold that ring in high regards. And then finally, with Tampa Bay, I have a saying, and I tell kids this all the time whenever I talk to them. I always tell kids, don't let your talent get you somewhere your character can't keep you. And that ring epitomizes that phrase that I use with kids, because that was probably one of the darkest times of my career. I got suspended for 4 games. Couldn't explain it, how it happened. But I had to go to those people and tell them, and be upfront when they signed me. I had to tell them, listen, I got something coming down the line. I'm fighting it. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I got a 4-game suspension lingering over my head. I went to BA, told my position coach. They looked at me. They told me they believed me, and they believed in me, and they kept me on that team. I was on practice squad. It's not like I was playing and I had performed for that team. I just got there. So there was no reason in the world for those people to keep me. But because of who I've been in this league, because of my character, that outweighed any trial and tribulation that I was facing in their eyes. And so I'm very appreciative for that. So all these rings mean something to me, man. I'm grateful for each and every one, and they all signify something. So it's hard to say which ring carries more weight with me. My last one, obviously, being with Tom, and it's the last ring that he'll ever win. That plays a part in that. But for sure, I gotta give Philly that love. Gotta give Philly that love. That being the ring and just experiencing, being able to experience people through their experience. I couldn't tell. I have 1,000 stories of people. I had an Uber driver. I'll give you this. I know I'm talking a lot, but I'll give you a quick story. After we won that Super Bowl, we get back, we go through the parade, and I'm catching an Uber. I can't remember the man's name, and I wish I could. But I'm riding in a car, and he's like, "Are you Kenjon Barner?" I said, "Yes." And so he started going on about how his dad and his dad's dad grew up Philadelphia fans, has been in their family, and so his dad had passed away. And he told me that his dad wanted, if ever, whenever we were able to win a Super Bowl, he wanted his ashes spread on Broad Street. So it's that type of tradition, that type of love for that team that I got to experience through that Super Bowl, man. It just makes it, I don't think anything can top that, because in organizations you win, fans are happy, but to be a part of that organization in a city like Philadelphia and experience other people experience through our success and the joy we're able to bring, there's nothing that tops that. So Philly definitely holds that top spot in my collection of rings, just because of the fan base and the people that I was able to come across and the stories that were told and the stories that were shared and the emotion. You know, people shed real tears talking to me about winning that Super Bowl. So the passion of that fan base is like something that I've never experienced, and I'm forever grateful for that. So my Philly ring means the most.
Okay, shout out Philly fans. Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Man.
And don't worry about or apologize about talking. Tell me as much as you. I'm here for you, man. I want.
All right, for sure.
You speaking about it actually leads into another question that I was thinking about. The Philly fans,
Mm-hmm.
when they love you as much as they can hate you when you're losing and winning, which is, it's not really saying anything bad about them. But have you ever had any, like you just told me a phenomenal story about love from a Philly fan. Have you ever had any issues where it was just
Absolutely.
damn.
Absolutely. I've experienced the highest of highs and the and the lowest of lows with Philly fans. I've always said this. Philly fans are the worst, best fans that you can have. They gonna ride for you. They'll fight for you. They gonna love you and they're gonna hate you all at the same time. We were playing, I can't remember the exact team. It might have been, I can't remember the team, but it was when we had Mark Sanchez and Sam Bradford. So this might have been 2015. I believe it was. Sam was the starter.
Okay.
Sam wasn't playing well, and they were booing the hell out of him. Booing, get off the field, you suck. I'm talking about going crazy. They're right behind us. Like, these are our fans. This isn't an away game. We're at home. Sam throws a pick. They go crazy. They're pissed. I believe he got hurt. He did get hurt because Sanchez came in the game, so he got hurt. And our fan base actually cheered. Like, they were cheering. Now, mind you, our fan base was not high on Mark Sanchez. But when Sanchez came in that game, they erupted. They went crazy. You would have thought the biggest play in the history of football was made. Went crazy. Sanchez had a couple good passes, threw a pick. They booed the hell out this man. Get the fuck off the field. You suck. I'm like, whoa, these people are different. This is different. So I've experienced, and I've had experiences myself. We were playing, was it the Cowboys? I can't remember, 2015. I dropped I dropped the swing pass. I dropped the screen. Now, mind you, all year they had been showing me love. That game, there was no love. Well, what did we bring you here for? What are we doing with you here? Why are you in the NFL? I'm like, damn, this is what it's like, huh? Y'all love me one minute, hate me the next. But they're the worst, best fan base you can have. Like I said, they're gonna ride for you. They're gonna love for you. They're gonna fight for you. They're gonna stand up for you. But the minute you're not doing your job, they're gonna let you know about yourself.
Yeah, man. That reminds me of something my dad's always told me. He's like, if you ever get you get in an argument or something with a loved one, with your significant other, and you get more pissed at them than you ever could imagine, the ones who love you the most can piss you off the most and get more pissed off at you than anybody else. So
Absolutely.
that's off for Philly
Absolutely.
fans.
That's Philly. That's Philly for sure.
Yeah.
That's Philly for sure.
You were saying when you were with Tampa Bay, there was a 4-game suspension. Was that from the PEDs?
Yeah. Yeah.
What was it that they stated? Because I get curious about this too, because they can say from SARMs to, if you have a prescription for Adderall, anything, they'll say something like that.
So it was something called S2. I did a lot of research on it, trying to figure out what it was. They said it could be found in food, it could be found in supplements, whatever it was. But I couldn't tell anybody where it happened or where it came from. Like I told them, I said, I ain't never had to take a steroid in my life.
Right.
Everything I worked hard and grinded for. So the hardest part about that situation, man, was not even being able to explain. Like,
sure.
I own up to any mistake I make. I've always been that way. The hardest part is not being able to say, this is, okay, yeah, I did this. This is what I did. So everybody looking at you like, yeah, okay, you didn't do it.
Right.
I'm like,
right.
I don't have an explanation. Where'd it come from? I don't know. What were you taking? I wasn't taking nothing. At the time that I got tested, I wasn't even working out. I hadn't worked out in like a month, 2 months. So I wasn't on no supplements, no nothing. So it was confusion. It was a trying time. I was hurt by it, man. When I first got the news, I cried like a baby. Cried like a baby because all you have in this world is your name and your word. That's it. And I take pride in who I've been and who I am. And so to have that come down on me, that shit hurt. That shit, it messed with me for a long time. And it took me a minute to bounce back. And that's why I'm so grateful for Tampa, because they played a part in helping me bounce back from that by standing by me and supporting me through that entire situation. I had no intention on taking that suspension. I was going to fight it until the end. Mm-hmm. But though I'd gotten hurt. And they were like, well, just take it so we can get you back later on. And, you know, a lot of things are said in this league, and you don't know if it's truly going to happen. If team is truly, and they stood by me, man. They really stood by me and stuck by me, and they brought me back this year, you know, so they stood by me in the midst of it and even afterwards. So, like, I'm super grateful for BA. I'm super grateful for that entire organization.
Yeah. I became a big fan of Bruce Arians after well, I mean, I've always liked his coaching style, but like whenever I saw the what was it on Amazon, that show where he was with the Cardinals, All or Nothing. I love the way he speaks. I love the way he speaks. But
BA's a real one. BA is a real one. He's one of the realest I've been around in this league.
Yeah. For
sure. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. BA a real one.
You've had some really good coaches, man. Like with
some great coaches.
With Belichick, with BA, with Chip Kelly. Who would you say? I know it's always hard to answer questions like this because being political and being fair, everybody has a different.
Listen, I'm never worried about being politically correct. I call it circle, square, square. I'm never worried about being politically correct.
Who would you say is your doesn't have to be the best coach, because we all know. I mean, Belichick is a football genius. Mm-hmm. You can't really put many above him, if any at all. But who would you say was the best coach for you as an individual, as like for growth and the way that you felt that you could, whenever you got into the league or whenever you're playing, somebody who motivated you to really, really get out there and fuck shit up?
I'm gonna surprise you. I'm not going with none of them. I'm going with Deuce Staley.
Okay. I like it.
They all provided something different. But Deuce Staley is by far the greatest coach I ever had. His ability to pull the best out of you, his ability to push buttons, his ability to teach you, his ability to help you grow, his ability to identify with you. Deuce should have been a head coach a long time ago, in my opinion. He has every characteristic that a great head coach needs, in my opinion. And I think if you talk to any other players that has played up under him and had the opportunity to get coached by him, they would say the same. Deuce is the type of coach that you'll run through a brick wall for. Deuce is the type of coach that'll get your blood pressure so high with his ability to get you ready for a game, to get you amped. I ain't never been around a coach like Deuce. So by far, Deuce Staley is the greatest coach I've ever had. That man is a major part of me being and transforming and turning into the player that I have turned into. So Bill is great, Chip is great, BA is great. None greater than Deuce Staley, in my opinion.
Deuce Staley's that dude. I like it. I love it,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, everybody's gonna be like, "What?"
Yeah, I know.
I'm sure if any of the players watching that played for that man, they probably can all attest completely. I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Now, we're talking about coaching. Lately, I mean, in the past, really 48 hours, there's been a really big uproar about minority coaches and how there's such a lack of them in the NFL, GMs, owners. It's like with everything going on with Brian Flores and real good buddy of mine, Hugh Jackson. What are your thoughts on all this? Have you really given much thought or consideration to any of this stuff that's been going on?
This has been conversation. I've been in the league going on 9 years. This has been a conversation that's been had since day one, that I've been around, that I've heard. And I'm sure this was a conversation far before I got into this league. So the conversation hasn't changed. We all know what it is. We all see it. We all know. Every minority coach understands what it is. Opportunity is very slim. And opportunity are very, you can't afford to misstep. You can't afford to lose as a minority coach. You see a lot of coaches that hold positions that have losing season after losing season, and there's no price to pay for it. But for a majority of minority coaches in the league, their leash is very short.
Right.
You look at Flo. That man won 8 games straight.
Yeah.
Was it 8 games straight? I played in Atlanta with Dan Quinn. We started off 1-7. We won our last 6 of our 8. Dan Quinn kept his job.
Right.
Now players stood up for Dan. Everybody stood up for DQ. You know, you had guys like Julio Jones standing up. You had a bunch of different guys. Rid would say something. You had guys, Matty Ice, that really stood up and stood tall for DQ. I don't know if that happened for Flo, but I know DQ kept his job after winning the last 6 of 8. So to have a coach, especially for an organization like the Miami Dolphins, who have not had success in a very long time, for Flo to come in and turn that organization around the way that he did, to change the culture of that team, and to have that team playing the way that they were playing. That team, I believe, had one of the top 5 defenses in the league, if not the best defense in the league at the time. For that man not to be retained and given an opportunity to come back, I just don't think that would have happened to anybody that looked differently than what he did. Minority coaches have it hard. There's not a lot of them. As players, there's not a huge representation of us as minorities in the higher ranks in the NFL. Like you said, whether it's GMs, owners, head coaches, you get coordinators. You look at my guy out in Kansas City. Bieniemy. You look at him. No opportunities.
He should have been a head coach by now.
Absolutely. And there's plenty of them. There's a list of them. I think a lot of what's being done is what I like to call just to say. A lot of these guys get interviews just to say we did. Okay, we did. We did this. We did that.
Right.
We interviewed. I think that
Mm-hmm.
You look at a lot of the guys who've gotten head coaches this year. You can't tell me that Byron Leftwich doesn't deserve an opportunity as a head coach.
Oh, for sure.
You can't tell me that Bieniemy doesn't deserve an opportunity as a head coach. You can't tell me that based on what Flo was able to do in Miami with that organization, with that team,
Mm-hmm.
you can't tell me that he shouldn't be a head coach in this league. But we all understand what it is. Just because we understand it and we can identify with it doesn't make it right.
Right.
And I truly believe that Flo is sacrificing himself in hopes of there being change. I believe that he is a sacrificial lamb for guys that are going to come long after him and guys that are coaching now to be able to get a real opportunity, a real shot.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's pulling the veil back and exposing the situation for what it is, not from an outside looking in, but from a coach's standpoint, having the things that happen to him and exposing all of that. That's what he's doing. And you never know, normally when you take a stance like this against the league, your career is done.
Right.
And I don't know if he'll ever be able to coach again. I don't think it's likely. But I think the stance that he's taking, I think what he's doing, I think is powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And I got nothing but love and respect for Flo. I was with him out in New England. And I could tell you every dude in that locker room, every dude on that defensive side of the ball, love that man. And again, it's one of those coaches that you go through a brick wall for. And you can tell by the way Miami played and how they were playing in that environment and how his guys rallied around him and how he rallied around those guys. He's a coach that guys want to be around, guys want to play for, and he's somebody that should be coaching in this league.
Absolutely.
As a head coach.
Absolutely. Do you think with all the accusations of, and which I'm just going to be honest, I'm the same way, circle to circle, square to square. I believe that minority coaches get put into a corner with we're going to pay you this much to lose these games. And to kind of tank. I don't know if you feel like that's something that's really happening or if you've seen it or anything like that. I feel like it is something that would definitely happen, especially to a minority coach, because they want a way to say, instead of just being, we don't want him to coach because he's a minority or this or that or the other. They want to have an excuse. Well, we had a losing season, so got to let him go. Got all this money in those games, and then you end up having a losing season. That might give them an opportunity, or not an opportunity, but an excuse to not piss off the fans, the city. What do you think of that? Do you think that might be something that they're doing?
I think anything is possible in this world. Excuse me. I don't put anything past anyone, honestly. We're all human beings. I think we're capable of greatest of good and the worst of evil. Yeah. So anything is possible. That side of it I can't speak to. Do I believe that teams tank for draft position and all that? Absolutely. I believe that happens. But as far as speaking to, I can't speak to that because that's not something that I've never heard of that until now.
Sure.
As far as being, so that's something that I can't speak to. But what I can speak to, like we just talked about, is the lack of opportunity for minority coaches, whether black, brown, yellow, or whatever in between. It don't matter.
Right.
I think there's a lack of opportunity, and I think the leash on minority coaches is far too short.
I agree. I'm not even in the position that you're in, and I can see it plain as day. It's a shame. It's a shame. Let's get to some fun shit to talk about.
Well, let's do it. Let's do it. I thought what we was talking about was fun. So listen, sometimes people don't like real, but
I'm all about talking about the real stuff, man, for sure. But then after a while, it's like, damn, man, let's get to happy a little bit. So you've been a part of many a Super Bowl, have multiple rings. Tell me who you think is going to take it this year. Who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl between the Bengals and the Rams?
Okay, so I'm This is hard. This is hard because I was telling my dad and a couple of my friends, I said, for the first time in my life, I felt like a hater. Like
Okay.
I felt that. And I didn't like the feeling, but it is what it is. I felt it. Like I'm watching that Rams and 49ers game. And by the way, the 49ers blew that. Um, absolutely blew that game. Absolutely blew it.
Yeah.
Definitely should have won that game. But as I'm watching that game, I did not want the Rams to win. And I got a lot of respect I respect the hell out of Aaron Donald. I respect the hell out of Ramsey, Odell, my dog Sony over there. I respect a whole bunch of cats over there, and I wish them nothing but success. But y'all just beat us. I don't want y'all to win. I don't. And in the fashion in which y'all beat us, I damn sure don't want you to win. That should have been us. I'm that guy. I'm that guy. Nah, that should have been us. They don't deserve to beat us. That was me. That was me. I did listen. I'm not a hateful. I had hate in my heart watching that game. I really did. And I really did. When they won, I'm out at this little day spot watching this game with a bunch of Rams fans, and I'm just in there really. I'm that guy, arms crossed, pouting. I'm like, this is crazy. I can't believe this. I did not want them to win. And so I don't want you just beat us. I don't want you to win. We never played the Bengals, so I hope they win. I got a lot of respect for the GM over there with the Rams. I had an opportunity to meet him. Snead had a great conversation with him, had the opportunity to meet his son. So I got all the love and I got nothing but respect for them. But y'all just beat us. And I'm salty about losing. I don't like that. I still listen, imagine being on that sideline, watching that ball go through the air and seeing number 10 running down the field, catching that ball with 7 seconds left, putting him in position to win the game after just making one of the greatest comebacks in playoff history. We were getting our ass whooped. Let's call it what it is. They were beating the hell out of us. We were getting our ass whooped. And in a quarter and one possession, we fought back the way that we did, tied that game up, and lost with 4 seconds on the clock. So I'm sure anybody that's watching this or that will watch this will identify with the pain that I feel, the heartbreak. Man. So
every Tampa fan, I guarantee that's what
every Tampa. I know Tampa rocking with me. I know it. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, I got Cooper Kupp, my dog Robert Woods over there. I got a lot of love for them cats over there. Cats that I've known since college.
Yeah.
I think this is, I'm a realist at the end of the day, and I love greatness. Matthew Stafford has been great in the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
He's been a great regular season quarterback. So this is huge for his legacy. I think what he's been able to do in this playoff run is huge for his legacy because prior to that, he hadn't had any postseason success. So I'm a realist at the end of the day. And I can recognize what this can do for certain guys' career. Aaron Donald, who's been dominant since day one.
Yeah.
The most dominant force in the NFL.
Easily.
Odell Beckham, one of the best receivers in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Cooper Kupp, a star in this game. Von Miller, legendary. It's a lot of guys over there. Floyd. It's a whole lot of guys over there that really deserve this. Mm-hmm. The time and the effort and the energy and the grind and the commitment that they've made to this game. I identify with all of that. I know how big this is for Matthew Stafford and his legacy and his Hall of Fame bid. Getting a Super Bowl win. I understand all of that.
But
hell with all that. To hell with that. I'm going with Joe Burrow. I want Joe Burrow. Okay, Joe Smoke. You feel me? I love the underdog. I love a comeback story. Going back, it's been many comeback stories. Whether it's guys getting traded, Steve Smith getting traded from Carolina, then going to Baltimore and balling out the way that he did.
Mm-hmm.
AP tearing his ACL, coming back 6 months later, rushing for 2,000 yards, unheard of. where I want to go next. Cam Akers, another cat who I got number of respect for, tearing his Achilles in training camp. Not that long ago.
Man,
How the hell are you back? I love a comeback story.
Yep.
Joe Burrow tearing his ACL last year, coming back and putting the world on notice, letting you know, nah, this is still Joe Cool. I'm still here. I'm still him. I'm still cigar smoking. Joe Burrow. You feel me? I'm still this guy. I love that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I love for an organization that hasn't had any postseason success to all of a sudden be making that turn, and now they're in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I love stories like that. I love it. I love a second year player in Joe Burrow performing the way that he's performed, going head to head with a Pat Mahomes, dominating the way that he did, bringing his team. I love that shit. That shit excites me. So I'd be a fool not to say that I don't want to see Joe Cool finish this off. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Joe Burrow. I really am. I'm a fan.
Man. I'm from Baton Rouge,
you got
man. Big LSU fan. They got all them
Yeah.
Tigers on that team. I'm rooting for them.
Yeah, you know, I'm cool on LSU. I got a lot of LSU homies. Shout out to LaFell, you know what I'm saying? My dog, Kevin Mentor, you know, D White, all those cats, you know, KJ, all those. I'm cool with a bunch of LSU cats. Never mind with that. But even with Chase over there, you know, who was getting flack and everybody talking about him when he was dropping balls, and you know, everybody saying when he talked about how it was easier to catch a college ball than you know him going through all that flack and then turning around and saying, okay, I'm gonna show y'all, and should be rookie of the year in my opinion.
I agree.
Came out balling, doing what he did. Like I love that. So for that team to have the players that they have, another comeback story, one hell of a comeback story with Joe.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Joe Mixon and everything that he went through. Now I don't respect none of that, everything what he went through, but the fact that he stayed down, grinded, fought his way back, a hell of a player, regardless of what he's done on the field, done off the field. He's a hell of a player. He's a hell of a running back. You know what I'm saying? There's comeback stories that I can appreciate and I got a lot of respect for.
Yeah.
Comeback stories on both sides, like I said. Odell going through what he went through in Cleveland. Everybody's saying he's done. He's washed up. He's not what he used to be.
I love
coming
it.
back, and I think he had 4 touchdowns in his first 6 games.
Mm-hmm.
That's still OBJ over there. Okay, that's still him. So yeah, so you know all these different comeback stories, but the Rams just beat me. I'm salty. I got nothing but respect for those guys that I mentioned, that I named, from the GM to Sean McVay. I got respect for him. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole lot of respect, but I'm going with Joe Burrow and the Bengals.
All right, let's go. Did you one thing you called him Joe Brr earlier?
Joe Brr, okay? Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
So wanted to talk to you about your clothing line.
Yes, sir.
Hated Apparel, correct? Go to anybody watching this, whenever you're watching this, go to hatedapparel.org and cop some of that gear. Those shorts are straight fire.
Appreciate that. Shout out to my boys, Jonathan and Joseph Solomon. 2 cats that I came up with that I've known since the Blacktop. They're my brothers.
Okay.
They had a clothing line back in high school. It was called Keeping It Sexy back in the day. So this clothing thing is really, this is their thing. This is what they've been doing. They came to me, it might have been during COVID, I believe it was. Like 1 o'clock, they called me. They came to the house. 1 o'clock in the morning. They was like, we want you to hear something. We want you. And so they came to me, they talked to me. They was like, we want to come up with another clothing line called Hate It. And I'm like, okay, Hate It. Okay, it's cliche. I get it. But then we start going over what it meant. And we've always been this way in our lives and how we interact with each other and what we do. We always like to take negative and flip it, give it a positive outlook, whatever it is, no matter what it is. We like to take it on and give it a whole new vibe, a whole new meaning. That's just who we've been since we've known each other, since we come into each other's lives. So I'm sitting there listening. They're like, so this is what it means, having ambition towards everything desired. And when they said that, I'm like, yo, let's go. That was enough for me. I'm like, let's go.
Okay.
Just taking something as strong as hate, taking something that has such a negative tone to it and flipping that and providing light, giving it light, that was powerful to me. That was powerful to me. So we came together back in 2020, and we've been making this thing go since then. We got the Agenda show coming up next week. I believe is next week, which is a big opportunity for us, going out to the Agenda show, which is huge in the clothing world. You know, we got a little collab with them going on. I don't even know if I'm supposed to say that, but I said it. But yeah, you know, it's a huge opportunity for us as a brand to go out and be able to converse with all these other top brands, top guys in this, and the top women in this industry, and be able to put our brand out there. But, you know, we believe in it, man. We love it. It represents us, and we don't like to put any sort of product out that isn't a representation of who we are. And we believe that hated and what it stands for is who we are to our core.
Gotcha, man. Well, so you've got a show that you weren't really supposed to mention. Do you know when's that happening?
No, the Agenda. I could talk about the show. I just don't know. Yeah, I just don't. I just don't know. I just don't know if I was supposed to talk about the collab. I think it's cool. I mean, we're doing a collab. So anyway, I said it. It is what it is. It is what it is.
Now
go ahead.
I've had a lot of gamers on the show.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of footballers that love to dabble in gaming. Now, something that I learned, and correct me if I'm incorrect, but you hold a lot of championships in real football. One that you have that some may not know is you are a Madden Bowl champ.
Big facts. Yes. Shout out to my dogs, EJ and Denard. Yeah.
What kind of preparation did you have to become a Madden champion, man? Like, I mean, I see you just got out the gym now. Were you just killing people on them sticks or what? And then just decided to get into it?
Absolutely not. EJ and Denard carried us to that. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay.
You know, it was a group project. You know, in group projects, sometimes you got people that do majority of the work. You got some people that do all the work, and you got people that just ride along and they get the grade.
Yep.
I was that guy that rode along and I got the grade. Okay. I made a couple plays here and there, but that was all EJ and Denard that got that for us.
You still dabble in games? You still a big gamer?
I'm not, man.
No.
I'm really not. I used to play Call of Duty. I was into that. All my homies they still heavy into that. But for whatever reason, I just can't bring myself to sit down and play a video game. I don't know. I'd rather be doing something else than doing that. And I probably should, because a lot of people be asking me to play. But yeah, I was never really a gamer like that, honestly. Even when I was a kid, I was always that kid. I could have every game system in the world. I want to go outside. I want to go outside. I want to play. I want to play with my friends. I want to get in some trouble. I want to do some stuff I'm not supposed to be doing. I wanted to be a kid. I wanted to be outside. I don't even want to be indoors. And that's kind of just stuck with me still to this day. I just rather do something else than play a game.
I'm the same way. I was the same way. I would always get the new system, but I wouldn't really ever get into it. I always want to go out and go do things. But I mean, that's our age. You know, back then you'd want to go outside and get into some shit, but nowadays nobody likes to go outside. Everybody's afraid of their own shadows, it seems. So like they like to stay in and play games.
Absolutely. I will tell you this. One game I did play and I was an addict. Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
That was I will say that. And there's probably gonna be some people that watch this that's probably too young to know what that is.
Oh.
But Crash Bandicoot is one of the greatest video games of all time.
Agreed, man. I was real big into, and like I think I've got a few years on you. I was real big into Bubble Bobble and old school like Donkey Kong Jr. games and stuff. You know
I rock with Donkey Kong. I definitely rock with Donkey Kong. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I like those old school games and stuff. Like I've got my wife for Christmas got me this the Simpsons arcade game, the one where you stand like it's
Okay.
Whenever you had like the tilt in the mall, those
Yeah.
arcades. Yeah, she got me one of
Yeah.
those for Christmas. I'm obsessed with it, but now it's just kind of
Okay.
collecting dust over in the corner. So
Yeah, you didn't play with the toy and got bored of it.
yeah, man, it's all nostalgic. That's all it is. But if real quick, just one last question, my man. I know, and I'll let you get going with your day. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you coming on the show. If you have any advice for any up and coming football player, I've got an actual an interview here in a little while with a guy who just declared for the draft, Mandy Alonso from Virginia. Do you have any advice for anybody, like with the draft coming up, anybody going into the draft, anybody wanting to make a career in the NFL? What would you have to tell them?
I would tell you, if you get that opportunity, get up under to some people that are doing something that you know nothing about. And I'm talking about positively.
Okay.
Get up under those vets that have done it the right way, that have sustained a long career, and learn something from them. That's what's helped me throughout my entire career. When you get in them locker rooms, shut up. Just observe. Vets respect that. Vets really respect that. I would tell you to stay away from people that could land you in some trouble. Not everybody is going where you're headed. Not everybody's going where you want to go. So in order to get where you go, sometimes you have to sacrifice relationships. Sometimes you have to separate from people who just aren't headed in that direction. And finally, don't let your talent get you somewhere your character can't keep you.
That's what's up, man. I remember you saying that just a little while ago. That led into one of the questions. I was like, man, should I just even ask him? But yeah, I'm glad you repeated that. I love it. So everybody, thank you so much, Mr. Kenjon Barner, for being on the show. I hope to have you on more times. Hope to start waxing nostalgic with you about our past with video games and everything. Just keep going forward, man. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you being here. Go have a great rest of your day, my friend, and we will talk to you later on.
I appreciate you, man. Much love, Jay. I'm glad we finally got this done. God bless you, man, and I hope to talk to you soon, bro.
Yes, sir. Bless you as well, my man.
All right, man.